Okie dokie. Oh, Lord.
Some packs of one. Let's close this just in case someone gets.
Yeah, rude. This is nice. Nice. Look at us.
We look official.
We are official. We are official. All right. Action. Hi, everybody. My name is Alexandra Giandria. This is...
Amalie Rosales.
Yeah, because let her say it. Let her say it. My beautiful girl. I'm so excited that we finally did this.
No, me
I'm
too.
so
We've been talking about it for forever, so now it's like
yeah.
finally happening.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see you work and do your thing because you've been watching me do mine for forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love you. I should have put lip gloss on. It's too late now. You're gonna see me with my crusty lips. So, basically, I just wanted to get you on this podcast because you have, just with the short amount of time that we've been able to spend with each other, I feel like obviously it was 5 days in a row, and we were up each other's buttholes, which is great because if you like somebody, if you like the set, that's great. If you don't like this set, our set was so fire.
Yeah, I agree. For context, we met each other on the set of a short film named Encierro, directed by Jane Herrera. I was the lead actress, and Alexander over here was part of my glam team, who was not making me look very glamorous in this short, specifically because it was a horror.
Yes.
And so it was a lot of blood and sweat and tears.
Literally.
And
jeez.
Yeah, so we were on set together for 5 whole days, very long days, mind you, and also hanging out after set every single day, because we all glued so well. The short just went to the Atlanta Film Festival, and premiered there on Friday, which is crazy. The Oscar qualifying Atlanta Film Festival. Which, look at us.
Look at us!
Look at
don't look at me, look at God. Don't look at me, look at God, because I don't know what's happening. We did that thing.
Yeah. And so ever since then, me and Alexandra have just been, I don't know, like...
We really hit it off.
We hit it off, and we've just been supporting each other ever since.
Yeah.
Which has been really, really nice. That's kind of the whole thing about set is you kind of make a family with each other and get to see each other in very stressful situations. And you trauma bond a little bit. And
yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. See, and it's so funny because I didn't know how to take Meshach, and I love Meshach so very much. Meshach was also the other star who is not here currently, but he's in that film. I can't really tell you what he does because that would
be a little bit of a spoiler, but
give it away.
Yeah. But Meshach is very dry comedy sometimes.
Yeah.
And people don't know how to take him.
He's fantastic.
He's great.
I love him.
Definitely an incredible counterbalance to the atrocities and the horrors that we're talking about in the film.
No.
It was so jovial and lively on set, behind the scenes. And again, I'm just really grateful that all of us kind of meshed in that way. It's very rare and special, so.
And it was very important for what we were doing because the film was so freaking heavy.
Yeah.
It had so many different things going on at the same time. And you are a gangster. You're just an absolute... No, because you're a gangster. Because this woman's only been acting 3 years?
Yeah, this is my 3rd year.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You did 9 takes of the drowning scene, which means she was drowned 9 times. And she was waterboarded, essentially, 9 times. And every time, I remember Jane was like, you know, are you okay? We can stop. And you were like, let's go. Come on, let's go. That's why I want to talk about that.
Oh, well.
That was crazy.
I think I just really love doing crazy things, and I think a lot of actors do. I think you kind of pride yourself based on how much you can suffer for the art, I guess, and for the shot. But I will literally do anything for a good shot, and I thought that the idea of this scene was just so much fun. It was a scene where I am falling through a ton of different nightmare realms, and I fall into like this bathtub, and I'm getting drowned. And I just thought that the visual was really interesting, and I was like, nah, I want a good take of that. I want you to get something that we can edit, you know, properly, that you're not having to like compromise in any way. And so of course, I was just willing to do it. I did another short with Jane and a lot of that same team recently for a 48-hour film festival, and this short also had me drowning, and everybody was like on edge. They're like, oh no, she's gonna actually drown again, because I did drown and I was like throwing up the first time around, and I was like, no guys, how likely is it to happen again? It didn't happen, and I was fine.
But you want to finish the story and tell them what did happen? Because I heard what happened.
Oh, well, yeah. So, I like, on the 9th take, I guess because you're actually having to immerse yourself in this experience, I inhaled, when I was, like, actually underwater, because I was kind of, like, flailing up and down, mimicking the act of somebody, like, drowning me on purpose, and so, I was totally in control of the entire thing and the movement, and it was completely safe. It wasn't deep water at all. It was just that because I was like flailing and screaming and trying to mimic that action, I inhaled water and it went down the wrong pipe, and I started drowning, and I threw up, and like obviously started coughing my lungs up, and our great nurse on set, Crenshaw, was there, and you know, helping me through the shock and like trying to warm me up and everything, because you know your body goes into shock really. And so and then I was like, immediately my people pleasing self immediately went into, I'm fine guys, everything's fine, like no worries, go back to doing what you need to do, pack up, it's cool. It was the last shot of the day, so I felt really bad because everybody was like holding their breath and like looking at me like, are you okay, are you sure you're okay? And then I got ready for an Oscar party because it was the night of the Oscars, and I glammed myself up and I went to an Oscar party and ended up dry drowning, like basically once the adrenaline left my body and I was like in a safe place and I was like parking my car, I felt myself drowning again. Like I could feel the water coming back up, and like I started choking and throwing up again, because obviously I was trying to rush the shock process, I guess. And so I had to go to the hospital.
What do you mean rush the shock process?
I was just trying to like get through it and like pretend like I was fine, even though like my body needed more time, you know, like, and I feel like because I was people pleasing and like trying to make it not as big of a deal as it was, I was like, no dude, it's fine, like it's okay, like I'm alive, it'll be okay. But like my body still needed time to process.
Yeah.
You know, I think that really just speaks to like who I am as a person.
You were taking care of everybody the entire time. Meanwhile, okay, let's appreciate the fact your brain does not know what's happening. Your brain doesn't know that it's fake.
Yeah.
You were traumatized for 5 days. Repeatedly. And she's running around set making sure everybody's cool. Are you good? You need water? Are you okay? Have you eaten? What's going on? Are you feeling okay? I'm fine. Look at me. Haha, I'm fine. I'm like, oh my gosh. How did you do that? You're my literal hero. Like, I don't know how you did that. Like, I don't... Acting is not a joke.
I think for me, I've always approached acting and filmmaking in general as a team sport. Yeah. I grew up playing team sports, and I think that I'm just a part of the puzzle piece. I think that actors are often the last puzzle piece, even to like be put into play and put on the board. Like, there's so many other moving parts before who gets actually cast as the lead, and so for me, it's like my job is to make sure everybody else's job is easy to do and like that they're not getting caught up for any reason. So part of my job description as a lead actress specifically, if I'm number one on that call sheet, for me it's also maintaining the level of camaraderie and the level of like collaboration that has already been put in place, and to facilitate that in any way that I can. I think a lot of actors throw their weight around in ways that are self-serving, but you can also throw your weight around in the way that is like helping everybody else. Like, for example, when we were in the makeup room, and we were kind of, I think it was like pretty last minute, just like where that was going to be set up, because we were using somebody's actual home for production, and Alexandra has a limp. Like you have a little bit of trouble like moving around, and like not having a clean area is going to make it much more difficult for you to be able to like accomplish the job that needed to be done. Yeah, like, and so I remember throwing my weight around in the sense that like I was like, hey, is there a PA that's free? Can we free up some space here so that Alexandra can set up a little bit more and Ashanti can have her own station? You know what I mean?
You did that so much.
Yeah, because it wasn't like I wanted things to drastically change, or that I don't necessarily want to make anybody's lives harder, but as heads of departments, I think that it's, you know, important to stand up for yourself. And if you're in a situation where you don't really know anybody or can't, you know, do that, then like, we're a team. You know what I mean? Like, I'll advocate for you just the same way that you would advocate for yourself and your own art. And I think that that's what is important. It's like all of us have different needs, and I know that if for some reason I needed a moment, you would be advocating for me in that space. And we were thankfully on a set where everyone was like, oh, immediately, absolutely, yes, like let's do that, let's do this. But you know, like, I think that as talent, you should also be looking out for your crew because they look out for you. You know what I mean? And so I guess that's just my mentality going forward. And I mean, I also am super interested in producing, and I think that kind of seeps into my work as well. Whenever I'm put onto a new project, I love being able to advocate for my friends and like be like, oh, I know an incredible gaffer, I know an incredible grip, they're incredibly reliable, they do great work. And so for me, making sure everybody else is okay is also my way of, you know, ensuring that like they are comfortable doing their jobs around me and letting me see their talents and their passions and what they do to the best of their abilities. Like, I don't know, I think that that's just the way that I view filmmaking, because I do see it as like a collaborative team effort to make art. And I'll do anything for my friends to be able to showcase what they can do to the fullest of their abilities.
Right. I feel the exact same way. I feel 100% the same way. It makes everybody's life easier. It's crazy. And, you know, as being a makeup artist, hi, hello, your name's Amalia, my name's Alex, nice to meet you, I'm going to touch your face now. Yeah. Like, filmmaking is very intimate. Mm-hmm. It's a very, and I'm assuming I've not been on a TV show yet, but it's coming in Jesus' name. I'm sure it's the same kind of thing. Yeah. And as a makeup artist, I've kind of struggled a little bit with that because, you know, part of the makeup artist's job is to be there at a drop of a hat. You know, you're supposed to be able to kind of assess the situation before the situation happens. Yeah. And, you know, dealing with whatever I've been dealing with at the time, or if like my body is struggling more so today than it was yesterday or whatever, I have a hard time sticking up for myself because I'm so used to just like powering through. And to have somebody who is my actress on set, you're my actress, you were sticking up for me, you were sticking up for everybody on set. And you're right, because it does create a safer, better, more calm space for everybody if we can just work together. Yeah. And, you know, working in like the fast food or like the food industry or stuff like that, you definitely learn, you know, your shift is going to go by smoother if you help someone.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that, I mean, most people, because there's so many things happening on set, there's so many moving parts, oftentimes it's not that they are unwilling to accommodate. It's oftentimes we just don't know what accommodations need to be made. You know what I mean? And so, especially as any artist, and especially as women, like we are often told, like we can't, you know, have a presence that is demanding or authoritative, or like, you know, make those kinds of I need this statements. Like, it's like we're constantly told to power through, and we're constantly told to just minimize ourselves, but especially on that set, which it was such a feminist set where we were talking about the struggles of being a woman in society. All of our teammates, all of the crew, everybody above the line or below the line was so willing to listen to our needs, and we're willing to have those moments where we pause and we take a breath and we're like, okay, what needs to happen in order for us to get our collective goal accomplished and end on time.
Because it's about that money, baby.
Yeah. Oh, and that was one of those things, is that's why I love indie sets so much, is because there isn't this like capitalistic drive oftentimes. We're in passion projects, like we're doing stuff that comes from someplace real and is unfiltered by any other like larger entity or corporation. So, in indie film, we're able to still keep that heart and that soul of, between artists and comrades, and like we're not like necessarily cogs in the machine, you know what I mean? Like,
I do know what you mean.
Yeah,
yes.
which on TV sets it's a little different because it's so much more like go 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 go. And while indie films are a little bit more guerrilla style, like, and may have maybe smaller budget, I do feel that people are much kinder and much more willing to listen and connect, because we have those opportunities, and they're much more like, I don't know, just kind of natural and happen in very real environments, you know what I mean? Like, I think once you get onto bigger sets, fingers crossed.
Not fingers crossed, it's gonna happen. Don't play with me.
Because we would love to be able to, spread our art and spread our passions.
Yeah, as far as possible, as far as it'll go, you know?
And like, I know that it's going to happen for both of us, but it's like a matter of when.
So God's timing.
But it will definitely be an adjustment, because I started out in indie film, and I think I've had the privilege of doing so. I think a lot of newer stars have always been, in like commercial spaces, or have always done film or TV roles, especially people who have started out acting really young.
Yeah.
They've always gotten to be in those like union spaces. But I think, I don't know, we kind of got the opportunity of seeing like all of the ways that things could go wrong.
On our set?
On our sets. On the smaller sets, you see where like
That's so true.
money fixes so many issues.
Wow.
And you don't even think
That's
about
so
that.
true.
So like we started from the ground up.
Yeah.
And that's such a privilege in my perspective.
I 100% agree.
Because like I feel so much more prepared for what could happen, because I mean, not for nothing, union sets with more money are able to throw money at problems and solve them quicker, and so now I feel like I can kind of tackle anything and know that like I can get through this, because we've been through this and we've been through worse, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, oh gosh, yeah. We've been through some stuff, well, I'm separately, but because we had best set ever, but like, I'm sure.
Without throwing out any like specifics on like names.
I had a director leave.
Set?
Yeah.
Their project?
Yeah.
They just straight up left?
Yeah, they were directing it, yeah.
What happened then? What did he do?
I don't know. He smoked a cigarette and then he came back or something. I don't know.
Left?
But he straight up left.
For how long?
Like an hour. Which I'm like, you're wasting your money. What do you do? But whatever.
It happens. It happens for sure. It happens. I think. You know, and it's not something that me or you would do, because we're hungry.
Yeah.
We're hungry for it. We know what it's like to struggle, and what it's like to not have the privilege of doing this every day. Do you know what I mean?
Do it every freaking day. I would do it for free.
Oh,
I'm not gonna, but I would.
I was talking the other day with the director of sound design from UGA. I met her at the Atlanta Film Festival. Yeah. Very prestigious. She's incredibly talented. But she was talking to me about like finding your purpose in life. And she said a Japanese term. I want to say it was like ike or iki or something. I honestly don't remember the term right off the top of my head. But she was saying how like it needed to accomplish a couple of things. Like if you know that you found your purpose when you have like it makes you happy and like it brings you community and you're able to serve in some way your community and it brings you money and like she was talking to me about like how she finally got to this and she was like talking about how she found the purpose of life after burning out 3 times.
Right.
And she knew that she needed to do something different and start teaching because making music for films was great and like she loved making music, but it was like not serving a greater purpose. You know what I mean? And like she was like, when I started teaching, everything clicked into place for me. And when things start clicking like that, you have to follow because that's like something higher telling you that you're on the right path, you know?
Jesus, man.
Dude, and it gives you like regardless of what like, you know, belief system you hold, what God you serve, if you serve a God, you know that there is something greater than us.
Right.
And you can just feel that. And so it's like, they give us these gifts, you know, like they gave us, your incredible talent of like, I think you have great people skills on top of just being a makeup artist.
Thanks.
I think they feed into each other really well. You kind of have to be a good people person to be a good makeup artist, you know what I mean? You're dealing with so many kinds of people.
It helps, that's for sure.
For sure.
You might as well be happy. Look, I've had some interactions with some Atlanta makeup artists, and Atlanta makeup artists got a big old fat reputation.
Yes.
And I do not want that reputation.
Yeah.
I'm not. No.
I think the nature of business in Atlanta is kind of an anomaly.
That's a good way to put it.
It's an anomaly. It doesn't happen anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen some of these business models mimicked in other locations, in other big cities even, where it almost feels as if this greater purpose that has been given to them divinely or like in any other right, they treat it as if it's like something to hold tight instead of share.
100%.
Does that make sense?
I 100% understand what you're saying.
Like they
because
treat
it's been very hard for me.
It's almost as if like it's a privilege for you to be in my presence instead of it's a privilege for me to share my talent.
For me, I think it's people put their identity in their talents. And so that'll mess with your brain. Like, that'll mess with your pride. That messes with your confidence because it's feeding off of how other people react to you.
Oh, I see.
So it's like, if you don't you don't have to like me. Nobody has to like me. That's not a law. Nobody said that. You know what I mean? I understand I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I know, I'm well aware of the fact that I do bring a presence into a room.
Yeah. So,
you know, it's your choice to decide what you want to do with that, you know? And I feel like as a makeup artist and art in general, the art department, you know, hair, makeup, clothes, whatever, I feel like it's our job to make you guys feel as comfortable as possible, because like I said, you know, I'm meeting you and then 15 minutes later I'm touching your freaking face. Like it's intimate. It's, you know, you might see some boobies, you might see, you know, some butt from a complete stranger. And I know that your job, especially in the acting industry, your job is very personal. You're portraying somebody else's life. You're, you know, putting yourself into that. People lose weight for, you know, films. They gain weight for films, you know, and so I think it's, especially on sets, it's our job to kind of go in and create the environment, like to set up that space. And, you know,
especially since most of the time you're the first person I see every day.
Exactly.
Yeah. You set the vibe for the entire day.
It's, yeah. Tell other makeup artists that, because apparently they're not getting that memo. Some of them are, but especially apparently in Atlanta. I mean, you know, you've got makeup artists sitting on their phone. You have makeup artists, you know, who don't come with clean materials. They're sitting there, they're washing their makeup brushes and stuff like that. I don't trust that your makeup kit is clean if you're sitting there and washing your brushes. And that's coming from another makeup artist. So it's like, you know, there's people who I meet who have never had their face touched by another person before. They don't know. They have allergies. They're really concerned because they have really sensitive skin. So
that was one thing that you were so on top of, and that I was so grateful for, is that like you were checking. You asked me like what my face washing routine was, and like if I had any allergies, if I did anything, if I had like any reaction, you were like, oh, like let me know if this is itching or burning, or like, you know, let me know. And that sounds like the very baseline minimum for somebody who is working so closely with the biggest organ on our body.
With the biggest organ on our body.
That's the skin. Like, you know.
Literally.
But
the biggest organ on our body is funny.
Do you think that it comes from these other makeup artists not fully realizing that they are living others' dreams? And that they aren't able to like practice that level of mindfulness and like gratitude every day?
Absolutely, I do think it comes down to that, because my makeup kit, look, I'm looking for it. Where is it? My makeup kit is my livelihood. It's like the reason I still live in my mom's house is because I spent all my money on building a business. You know, people don't understand what it really truly takes, and it is hard. It is very difficult to start a business, to do acting. You're starting a business when you do that. Starting a career is hard. But I also feel like maybe they haven't had their makeup done before. They've never been in the makeup chair, so they don't know what it's like to have somebody in your face that you really don't like, or that you feel is not being sanitary. That's your health. Your health is involved, you know, like, so I do take it very, very serious. And so I think that does separate me from the rest of the crowd, because I would do this for free. I do this.
You have done it for free.
I just did it for free. So, you know, but that's part of it. And that's why I think you're so good at what you do as well, because you're so passionate about it. You're very passionate, and I like passionate people. So I was like, I gotta get you on this thing, because your story is so inspirational. I mean, talk about your childhood. Talk about how you came up and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I think I always like telling my story before I was even in the picture. I think my story comes from generations of immigrants and strong, hardworking men and women. My parents were immigrants from Honduras. They came here immediately after graduating college with engineering degrees that they worked incredibly hard for. My mother was the first engineer to come out of her village, and she is a black woman in Central America who faced a lot of discrimination. I'm so unbelievably proud of her intelligence and just her drive constantly. My father was also a scholarship individual who studied agricultural engineering, and they met in college. My mom fell pregnant with my brother about a couple months before graduating, and she graduated when she was 7 months pregnant, immigrated here when she was 8 months pregnant, and gave birth about a month after. Already being an American citizen, because my grandma had already immigrated here. But yeah, so they were so young when they were having kids. My mom was like 21. And then 4 years later, she popped me out, and I was completely unplanned and unwanted, really. My mom almost died during childbirth with my brother. And so when I came around, she was so unbelievably anxious for her own health and well-being. And yeah, I was very ill as a child, and they sent me back to Honduras at 40 days old because they were told that I was going to die. And so my mom was like, okay, well, if American doctors can't fix this and we can't afford this healthcare, we're going to send her to Honduras, and we're going to get all sorts of healthcare, like holistic healthcare and like indigenous healthcare, and like seeing doctors that they were very familiar with growing up. So they sent me back home. for me to get baptized just in case.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Just in case I did pass, and I got better with the holistic treatment that my great-grandmother gave me, who I was named after. And I lived in Honduras until I was around 4 or 5. Came to America, didn't know English, didn't even know my family because I thought that, you know, I didn't know what I thought. I think my aunt was, I thought my mom and my mother figure for those formative years. And when my mother came to actually pick me up and was like, hey, you're coming to America with us and you have an older brother and like this is your life now, I was very not about it. Because I was like, I want to stay in Honduras, I don't know who you people are. So I came here, started my education, and my mom would send me back every summer so that I still had a connection to home and would still be able to call that home. But yeah, so I kind of lived my life halfway in America, halfway in Honduras, and my parents live down there now, and I go back often, as frequently as I can. So yeah, I am Honduran American in the most like literal sense of it, because I did live there and here through various points of my life. But I went to school. I was always super passionate about my education. And I think growing up, since my parents worked so hard to get here and to have a stable income for me and my brother and to give us such an incredible American experience, we didn't have much, but you know, like we the house that we're in right now is my childhood home, and
wow,
we gutted it. Like little by little, we rebuilt this house. This doesn't look anything like it was. It was a hoarder's house. It was the cheapest house that was for sale in the neighborhood, and my dad having some construction experience was like, we can make this our home. And I grew up doing a lot of like the labor for that, and like helping my parents rip up carpet and tile the floors and like do the drywall over again. You know, we built our American lives quite literally with our hands and with our collective like sacrifice, you know what I mean? So I just, my parents instilled in me through that being here was a privilege, and that like, you know, having electricity and water and all of these things was not something that is given to everybody, because we would go home so often. And I mean, the kids that I played soccer with, like, they didn't have shoes or a guaranteed meal, you know, like they didn't grow up, you know, going to school every day on a school bus. Like they would oftentimes walk, and like, you know, sometimes a lot of the kids, they didn't go to school, they had to work. You know, I grew up knowing kids by name and loving kids, and my friends were like, oh, I'm not going to the 4th grade, I'm actually gonna start working with my dad at the auto shop, or I'm gonna start selling, you know, bread to help with my parents' bills. And like, that was such a frequent thing that we heard growing up. And like, my parents exposed me to so much in ways that were not really exploitative, because it wasn't like, I think a lot of American kids go to my country, Honduras, and they're like, oh yeah, I went on a mission trip, or I, you know, like was there for the military, and they got to experience the joy and the love that is my home country through this lens of like, oh, I'm giving back. But we were in it, you know, like we were part of that community. We were just spreading love and however much we could laterally instead of from above, you know. And I think that changes the perspective of how you interact with these communities. I think I was so privileged to be a fucking immigrant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was, and I would tap that across my chest. Like, I was so privileged to be an immigrant because I saw the differences between our two societies.
Yeah.
And I saw what is given and what isn't. And I understood my level of privilege and my level of wealth, which is so baseline, but my level of wealth in ways that I don't think that my peers did.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think my story is one of an immigrant child who is just constantly juxtaposing two diametrically different environments, and was just trying to find a place for myself in the world. So when I went to college, that's exactly what I studied. I studied Latin America, and I studied international affairs and political science because I just wanted to understand why is it that I got that opportunity, and why is it that I am who I am in this world. How do I move in ways that could help others, and how do I use the systems that I was plopped into and do some good with it, and that's all I really wanted to figure out is why is my mom treated differently than I am because her skin color is darker, why is it that I'm treated differently because my parents are from a different country, and all of these other questions that I grew up having to navigate. I wanted to academically understand and change. And so how did I end up being an actress? I got out of college and COVID had hit, and I was supposed to do this internship in the UN, abroad in Italy, and it didn't end up happening. I studied Italian for it, and it didn't end up happening because COVID hit, and what can we do about that? Sometimes life throws you the wildest of things and you have to adjust. And so after college, I just really desperately trying to find some sort of nonprofit work or community organization position, and I just couldn't find something that was of the right fit. And I'd always had this curiosity of acting. I was always an artist. If we look around the room, there's a few self-portraits that I did. I've always been super...
No way!
Yeah, and I've always been super artistically inclined. I love art in all of its forms. I love dancing. I love music. I love I did a lot of portrait work, and
holy crap!
I used to do murals in school.
Murals are fun.
I worked as a graphic designer for a very long time, and was always looking for positions like that. So I was like, well, I'm already artistic.
Yeah.
Might as well give a new medium a shot. So with headshots that I took on my phone, and videos that I took on my phone, I uploaded them to this site called Backstage where you can self-submit to things. I self-submitted, and 3 hours later...
That's where I got Encierro.
Yeah. No, literally, that's the site that... This isn't a Backstage ad.
No, not yet, it's not. Lord.
But,
jeez.
yeah, I just shot in the dark, recorded some monologues, auditioned for a couple of things, and 3 hours later I got my first commercial. And that felt like, after 8 months of interviewing and getting nowhere in corporate America, I was like, okay, well, maybe this is a sign that this is what I should be doing. And I just kept going. And for a whole year, I was living off of completely just acting work. And I did I think 17 or 18 shorts and commercials during that time in my first year, which after speaking to other actors, they're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you did 18 shorts?
That's crazy business.
And I was like, yeah, I just kind of auditioned for everything and had no
just balls to the wall, man.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was the only way to do it. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm never taking an acting class. My whole background was in public speaking. It wasn't like I was a performer in any regard.
Yeah.
But I was just like, well, I guess this is a new class for me. So I made set my classroom. And I absorbed as much as I possibly could. And it wasn't just from other actors, because oftentimes I was one of the only maybe 2, maybe 3 actors on set ever. Because they were indie films or student films most of the time. And so from in front of camera, I got a really great view of what other people did behind camera.
Yeah.
So I was watching the makeup artists and the gaffers and the DP and the director and taking notes on what it is that they really did, because I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, okay, like, I guess I just have to absorb. And then I started really academically studying film as a medium, and started trying to watch a movie a day and like taking notes on it. I have extensive notes on like so many movies. Wow. Because I just wanted to learn everything that I could, so that one day I could give back in a way. And I think that acting for me has been that. And that sounds really dumb, because it's like, how is putting your face on a screen in any way serving others? But I feel like most of the projects that I have been able to be a part of have been a reflection of my experience in one way, shape, or form. So I feel that as a woman, as a immigrant, as a queer person, as a person that is neurodivergent, as a person who has a lot of really rough experiences, like homelessness and, you know, abusive relationships and all sorts of things, like, my only gift that I can give is myself, and the only gift that I know how to give is that energy and that experience and that empathy that I have built through unfortunate circumstances in my life. And if I am able to grant that empathy to someone else's life, someone else's experiences, and amplify that in any way to a larger audience, then that's what I'm going to do. And I feel that my advocacy work back when I was younger is in direct correlation with my acting work. If anything, acting is the intersection where activism and art meets each other. And yeah, I think that's just...
That was a bar, by the way. No, that was a bar. That's going to be a whole clip. You just gave me clip right there. That was fire. That was fire.
But and so for me, acting is my activism. It is me showing up for people who look like me, who have felt like me, and allowing them to see themselves on screen, even if it makes me a little uncomfortable. You know me, I hate seeing myself on screen. I'm a shy person in general. I kind of keep to myself. I might have a big personality, but I am very hesitant to show it to the world. You know, I think that you're kind of the same way.
I am!
Like, once we're comfortable, it's like, you know, whatever.
We're girls, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's awful.
Oh,
girl, it's awful.
It's awful.
I was literally crying to my friend yesterday because, you know, God has me out in these streets. And I believe that, let's say it on camera. You know, I'm going to be acting. I just acted in my first film.
Yeah. How was that?
So,
what was that experience like?
It was really fun. It was very draining. I told Meshach, I was like, I only thought about you guys the whole time I was filming because I was one of the lead roles and I was an FBI agent. So I'm like, I'm running and like, yeah, but I got to be mean for 3 days, so that was kind of fun. However, yeah.
Cathartic. Very cathartic.
Wow. But I was like, this is not a joke. And I only shot for 3 days. So it's like, and I know that that's where I'm going, but I'm such a private person.
That, and also it's just very socially draining. Like,
yeah.
There are so many people watching you all day. There's so many people checking on you all day and touching you all day.
I'm not used to that. I'm not used to the love and the attention. That's weird for me.
Yeah.
Weird.
No, dude, and and I love joking with like my ADs specifically. Like Aldo on our set that we met was our AD. He was an incredibly talented individual and filmmaker that came from Florida, and I remember like a thing that we say on set constantly is like, oh, talent is flying in, which means that like the cast is moving into the direction of our filmmaking set. So they're on their way to be where they need to be in front of camera. And I remember I jokingly said like, oh, I hate being called talent because I feel that it distinguishes us from the rest of the team. Does that make sense? And so, I don't know.
Oh, like sets you higher or whatever?
Yeah, like it creates this weird hierarchy, and like, for me, the best sets are the ones where that hierarchy feels non-existent.
Yeah,
and everything.
That's why I love you.
Yeah,
because some actors are trash garbage. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Some actors are different.
It's an inherently narcissistic.
Yeah.
Profession to pursue. It is very much about like, how do I look? How do I sound? And
how's my hair?
How's my hair? How's this? And so you're constantly thinking about how you look and yourself without really understanding how that affects those around you. And even though it's part of the job, it is one of those that it's like, it can get very...
You can be nice.
Yeah, it can get very abrasive and it can get very like self-centered very quickly.
Yeah.
And so
you were not like that at all. I was like, this is the best person ever.
But I mean, it is also just like coming from a background that isn't acting and isn't filmmaking.
Right.
I was able to again compare and like understand like what I liked about having this actor persona, because I think that there is power in having a very demanding presence.
Yeah.
But what I would improve on in terms of just like being easier to work with, and we're all doing that. We're all observing and taking the parts that you like and trying to put away the things that you don't and not distance yourself personality wise from it. But yeah, no, I think it's, if you look at the nature of the work, it's like, that makes so much sense. But I love taking on roles where I'm not glitzing glammed up.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was so hard to say. Glitzing glammed up, because I feel that when I'm worried about how I look, I'm less able to perform.
That makes sense.
I'm less able to give you something that makes you feel, because I'm so worried about, am I catching the light correctly? Am I doing this right? I love nitty-gritty roles where I am crying, screaming, throwing up, bleeding. I would much rather do a role where I am intentionally looking bad, because I know that was the intention behind it.
That's so smart. No, that's so smart. Are y'all taking notes? Because y'all need to be taking notes. I don't understand.
But does it make sense though?
That makes so much freaking sense.
If in Encierro I was in sweatpants and like no makeup, and all the makeup that I did have on me,
you were sweaty.
Yeah, all the makeup that I had on me was intentionally trying to make me look tired and like puffy and gross. Like what women typically would not want to look like.
Yeah.
But that was so freeing. That was so freeing, because it was like, I'm making a movie about womanhood in which I am not expected to look any type of way.
Right.
And I am able to just feel. And for a film that like is so demanding physically, emotionally, because I'm screaming my head off, crying, all of that, I was able to free up so much of my brain in terms of like what my outward appearance was, and focus on like honing in those emotions of like what I would feel like crying in my own room.
Yeah, you really have to put yourself in there.
Yeah. And also it freed up so much more space for me to, connect with others, it's kind of the whole point. Like, the whole point of art is connection. Right. Every artist, regardless of what medium you practice, like, all you want to do is find somebody who feels that same way.
Yeah.
And is familiar with what you're trying to do and sees your vision and understands you as a human. Like, as people, we're just wanting to connect with others. And so, yeah, I was able to free up so much of my brain to connect with the people that were directly in front of me. I was able to perform for the people directly in front of me, and see them as people and learn about their history and learn about like where they came from and why they're doing the things that they do and why they love being here and not getting paid. You know, like
yeah, or barely getting paid.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, no, good. Like
that's literally the whole point. Like,
there's no other reason.
Yeah.
To really, I always tell people that if they're going to pursue an art, as like a profession, and you want it because of like money,
you think it's gonna make you rich? It's probably not.
It's probably not going to, and if you won't do it for free, don't do it at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it might just burn you out. If your higher purpose is not in connection to spreading that passion that you already have without the money, it may lead you to burning out and to feel unsuccessful, when in reality you could be very successful. You know what I mean? And like, I don't want to put anybody into a space where they are setting expectations for themselves where they will be left with disappointment, you know. And I don't know, it's not that you can't make money off of it, because you 1,000% can, but money comes and goes.
Right. You can't hold on to it at
and
all.
You can't hold on to it. And so it's like, what you can hold on to is the impact that you've made through that art and through that medium.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what you should base your success off of. You should feel like completely empty after a project.
Yeah.
Because if you
but
don't
in a good way.
Exactly, because you put all of yourself into it.
Yeah.
And all of your energy into it. And if that isn't what you're left with, you could have given more.
Yeah.
That is the legacy, and that is the goal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's to completely come out with a clean soul and spirit, and have that cathartic experience on set, or, you know, wherever you may be, on that painting, on that canvas, you know, like in that music video, in that, you know, introduction, in that symphony that you've masterfully created, like whatever it is, you should feel completely clean.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was thinking about this a lot recently, and it isn't like a novel idea or thought of mine, but I was thinking about like how I really truly believe that making art is one of the closest things that you can be to like following in like a God's footsteps, and like really empathizing with them, and like really trying to get connected to what it is that they've done. You know what I mean?
What do you? No, I'm
seeing that perspective is like you're creating something, and
and they're the creator.
And they're the creator.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like when you're creating art.
That's funny. Wow, you're so right.
Right?
I was just watching YouTube videos on this.
Really?
Because I've really been wrestling with the fact that I know that the Lord is pulling me out to separate me, so that I can do this thing for real.
Yeah.
Like, all the desires of my heart, I know that He gave me, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't remember what I was doing. It was probably the Lord who just like dropped it in my lap, because He does that on YouTube. I'm a very visual person,
Mm-hmm.
so like I watch YouTube videos a lot to learn and stuff like that. That's literally how I built my career, was off of YouTube University.
Yeah.
And there was this video, and it was like how he was talking about how if you don't, like, part of being an artist is the way that you were freaking made. Like, if you don't use this, then what will happen after is, like you said, burnout. And it's like, if you're not genuinely doing things for the right reasons, and you're not taking things to the Lord, I just really have been struggling with the fact that it's like, I know that the Lord wants me to do this full time. He wants to make it a living. He wants to, but it's me. It's the fear, it's the imposter syndrome, it's whatever the devil's trying to throw in my head at the time. It's so hard to get out of your own way as a creative, but it's literally part of how we serve people. this is how I serve you. Let me make this the best makeup experience that I possibly can.
Yeah.
So that some way, somehow, no matter where you are in your, you get touched by the Spirit. You know, you feel Jesus or whatever, and like you feel inspired, you feel encouraged, you feel better than before you got in my chair. It's ministry. Yeah. And I never, 13-year-old me
would have never put those two things together. But I think that the reason why I feel that, you know, creation and art is the closest thing that you can get to like following in his footsteps, or in whatever like belief that you hold's footsteps, is that it creates a deep sense of introspection. Yeah. And a deep analysis of that creation of yourself, which inherently will make you a deeply empathetic person.
Ooh, talk about that one.
Yeah, because you when you are introspective and when you are looking at thyself like in a way that is, I don't know, just like critical. Yeah. And in a way that is constructive and like, I don't know, in many ways also destructive, because you have to deconstruct a lot of the things that have happened to you to be able to process those feelings in order to create the art. You are strengthening the muscles of connection with others. If you can see yourself in your own mistakes, then you are able to understand the thought processes of others, because you are able to understand your own.
That was so good.
And so I think that it's like we are made to make art because that is how we create connection with others. Yeah. And we are able to strengthen our empathy and strengthen our sense of community in these ways. And so in my head, it just makes so much sense that like when we create, we are almost like highlighting those gifts and like all of the things that we are supposed to create stronger bonds with others. Yeah. Because we understand that like everybody is, I don't know, serves a purpose.
There's a need that needs to be filled, and you have to fill it.
And you have to
it's
fill
your
it. It comes down to you. It comes down to you.
It's a choice. Yeah. It's a choice. I could get a 9 to 5. I don't want to, but I could. And that's what the world should be, usually tells you, you know, you need a stable job, you need stable income, you need thousands of dollars in savings, you need this, that, and the other. When the majority of the most successful people on the freaking planet just freaking winged it the whole time. Yeah. Until they got where they wanted to go. But I feel like, you know, not tapping into it and forcing it, because I've done this myself, forcing yourself to work a 9 to 5 or try to fit yourself in society. We're so not made for society. That was also what the video was talking about like, it's important for you to go after this so that you can figure out how to have time management, how your brain works, and like what you like, what you don't like, what works for your sleep schedule, all of these important things that everybody has to do, but artists have to do it in such a specific way.
In a specific way, and it's very like intentional. It has to be intentional. So every time everybody asks me like, oh, how should I get into acting? It's like, yeah. You need headshots. You need whatever. That's the bare minimum. I always say you need to go to therapy. Go to therapy.
That is not what I thought you were gonna say.
I always tell people you need to go to therapy because you need to know your triggers. Yes. How do you make yourself cry? How do you make yourself scream? How do you make yourself scared?
Go to a Meisner class. Taryn has some.
And that's why people who have gone to acting classes but not therapy are like, wow, it was so like cathartic, and I've learned so much about myself. And it's like, yes, honey, because you need to learn yourself. Like all of these techniques, all of these other things like are about learning how your nervous system responds and like how you can get yourself there and bring yourself back. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just and I mean that goes for any industry and any profession. It's literally like, if you want to get good at what you do, you have to get good at treating yourself well.
Say that again for the crowd in the back, because
yeah, dude, it's really what it comes down to.
Look,
if you want to get good at what you do,
so
you have to get good at being you. and being your truest self and serving yourself in a way that is like, and I say that, and I say all of these things. And it's easy to say these things, but it's so much harder to like actually implement them, right? I experience burnout. I'm a deeply anxious person, and I spiral constantly. But it is a constant work of like, okay, how do I get myself out of this? You know, and like it's a muscle that needs to be built, and sometimes you work it out, and you know it's not a linear experience. Sometimes you're working out that muscle a lot, and you get really good at it, and then you stop working at it, and then you get bad at it again.
Right.
And you feel weak, and it's like, no, it's not that you are weak. It's just that you're not trained yet, and you are like out of shape mentally or spiritually.
Well, I think it's and literally it is spiritual, because it is spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is spiritual.
Yeah.
We live in a spiritual situation, and that's why they can't make new tricks. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They can't like duplicate things. So it's like they know what triggers you, so they're gonna trigger you, and then they're gonna trigger you, and then they're gonna, because they can't get creative.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, like, again, I go through I'm still fighting. March was a rough month for your girl. I was not okay.
Dude, and the stress and all of those things, like, you physically get ill. You physically start feeling symptoms. Like, people don't get that.
Exactly.
Like, when you're forcing yourself in situations that you don't want to be in, that your body is telling you that you don't want to be in, like, one way, shape, or form, you're gonna feel it.
100%.
You're gonna start feeling sore muscles. You're gonna start feeling headaches. You're gonna feel tummy aches. You're gonna feel nauseous.
Yep.
Whatever it may be, your body is going to tell you you're not doing something correctly.
Right. Yeah.
And the only reason I know that, like, I'm doing something right is that, dude, I've never felt happier than when I'm on set.
Yeah.
Like, every day on set, it's a great day on set. Like, I am so happy to be there doing whatever they ask me to do. Because it's like, this is what life's about. Like, we're living the dream. Even though I said that one time, and I was like, basically, like, in a mini dress, no jacket, strappy sandals, in like on set, filming a scene where we're outside and like waiting in line for forever, and I was so cold, and all of my co-stars were so annoyed and so like snappy at each other, and I was like, dude, I can't feel my fingers, but it's a great day on set. Like, I'm having the best time.
Oh my gosh, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. We did I did a music video on a lake in the middle of like January. Oh,
yeah, because that's exactly where you want to be, in Georgia. Like,
I've never been that cold ever in my life, and I don't think I'll ever be that cold again.
I hope you never have to be.
But for the film, for the what are the kids saying? Do it for the gram or whatever. No.
Are they saying that still? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm 26. I'm phasing out of knowing things. I've accepted that. I'm on the downward.
Scary. Yeah, downward.
Yeah, like I still don't really get 6'7". Like it's one of those.
I don't think we're supposed to.
And that's fine. You know, everything for the target audience. And
they have new words. They're making stuff up, and then they're changing the meanings of words. And I think that we did that too, to a certain extent. They'd be changing everything. No,
and I mean
I don't get it.
Like, I mean, we do that a lot. We you know, it's not new to, you know, have new vernacular, and like language is flexible and like constantly adapting or whatever, but my brain is not. And I can only fit so much information.
Look, that's crazy. I don't have any more space for no more files.
No, I'm out of storage.
Files out.
Like, I'm out of storage. Like, every time I have to learn a script, it's like I have to free up space, and then...
How do you do that?
And then
how do you do that?
Oh, girl, if you were to ask me, like, a line that I said on Encierro, I could not tell you.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of like studying for a test. Do you remember, like, you studied for the test, and
I
then you, like, dumped it?
And then it would not.
No.
I couldn't tell you. So that's literally, like, yeah. I feel you. I could do it.
You could do it. You did it.
I did do it, technically.
You did it.
I had very little. No.
Do you still remember your lines?
I could barely. Okay, I got hired on for the film because I was a replacement, so I got hired on like 3 days before shooting. So I didn't know my lines. He was like, it's a good thing I love you and I know you and we just hired you on because on any other set this would be crazy. I was like, well, yeah, I get it, but like...
It's a muscle, like anything else.
We did a lot of... They would feed me the lines and then I would...
You can coast by most of the time.
I did. For the situation, I feel like I did pretty good. I didn't freak out.
I'm excited to watch it.
Thanks. We'll see.
You're like, I'm not. I'm scared.
No,
your nails are so cute.
Thank you. This is like the worst manicure I've ever done in my life.
Really?
But we just made it work.
I really like this color on you.
I like the color. Thank you. I like the color.